They actually are kind of dangerous. I'm good. I got you.
Okay. No. Here? Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so, wait. We're going to count. 3, 2, 1.
Yay!
I know. Do you want to touch those a little bit more? I know these are laughably super dangerous. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with some of our commentary for the ribbon cutting that we just had right here at Anderson Heights Park. And I just want to begin really with just a few acknowledgments. Of course, our city councilor, our council president, Klarissa Peña, who's been championing this project for many years. Want to introduce also our Parks and Rec Director, David Simon, who's here, along with the big team, and of course the manager on this project, David Flores. Great work. And then Lee Landscaping. Anyone here from Lee? Maybe not. They did the contracted work here. And then MRWM Landscape Architects. And of course, and most importantly, all the community members that are here with us today. So I think I really am here just to say thank you to the community and to our city councilor for their leadership on this. You know, there's wonderfully, as a relatively new mayor, I get to come and cut ribbons on things that we had little to do with. They were really done by the community, which we're going to hear a little bit about, and by our council president, Klarissa Peña. But I do want to acknowledge the staff for follow-through. One of the things we are trying to do in my administration is spend every dollar we've got and try and fully fund every project and get it to completion. So I think this is a good example too of, instead of taking 9 years to build a nice, wonderful park, we want to get that down to like 2 years or 3 years. That's our goal. So we're celebrating a long road for this park, but we also hope that it's a reflection of a shorter road for future parks. And I do want to appreciate our administration for finishing the job, and for the current leadership team for honoring what I've kind of ran on to say, like, we are going to finish all of these half-done projects. So with that, really just want to appreciate that, you know, this community here, there is, of course, out here on the west side, especially far on the southwest side, there are much fewer public amenities than in the rest of town. That is for a number of reasons. Some of it is maybe because they're newer areas, but I think some of it is because, unfortunately, our city has not invested enough in some of our underserved areas, and we're playing catch up. This park is another good example of that, and I think a lot of the things that we're doing on the west side especially, they're long overdue, and they're fixing disparities that should have been fixed a long time ago, but we are now finally getting to them in big ways, like at Unser and Central, and in small ways, like trying to fill in green space in a lot of the communities out here. Now, let me, I think, close before I hand it off to our council president, that this also, of course, is parks are one of the things that we often take for granted once they're there, but for neighborhoods who don't have them, they really want them and they miss them, and it's whether it's for kids or for adults, little things like a playground. This community will be forever a better place because of this park, and that is something, it's one of the smaller things that we do as a city that is extremely important to neighborhoods, and so we're happy to provide this park here. So with more on this, our council president and this area's city councilor, Councilor Peña.
Thank you, Mayor. And he did not have nothing to do with it because he's actually the one that directs his staff to make sure that it gets done. And he's our ambassador for the city of Albuquerque, and he does a great job. So thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to start off. I'm going to read. Of course, I always get my notes here, and I'm going to read, but I always digress from them. But today's such an exciting day for the Anderson Heights community because this new park will be a vital asset for the surrounding neighborhoods and families for generations. This ribbon cutting opens this park, but our work, planning, and fundraising efforts to continue in order to increase the number of parks and green space on Albuquerque's southwest side for all the reasons that the mayor stated. You know, it's just really important. Lots of areas are new, but it's been such an underserved area for such a long time, and I'm really, really happy and elated to really have kind of the partnerships that we've created over the years. One of the things that I've worked to do and others have worked to do is really to kind of put our resources together and not trying to work independent of each other. And so that's the reason lots of these things are starting to come to fruition. So I really appreciate all the other elected officials. Although there was no state money in this, I really appreciate their partnership and other projects that we're trying to get done in the community. you know, this was a $900,000 project. As the community knows, they waited patiently for years for this to come to fruition. You know, at one point it was going to be half a park, and then it you know, we reevaluated it, and you guys had to wait through 2 bond cycles for it to get completed. But what a spectacular park! I mean, it just looks amazing, and not to mention some of the things that we talk about outside of the park is that if you just stand here and look at the views of the city of Albuquerque, it's just amazing. I was talking to Cassie from KOB, and she's like, "Oh my God, the views are amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, we have the best views on this side of town." And then, of course, I want to thank the administration, David Simon, David Flores. You know, I'm the one that's always pushing buttons about when and how quickly. And thank you guys for your support throughout the years. I want to thank the MRWM for the design, the contractor lease landscapes. And then, of course, I have my policy analyst back here because, you know, it really kind of takes a village. We've started this project when I was first elected. I know community members waited longer than that. But, you know, these 2 girls are the ones that I pressure them, and they say, "I think everybody hates me from this department for for always pestering." But Nancy and Charisse, you guys are amazing. And with that, I want to invite someone up who is the president of a homeowners association and this neighborhood association, a community member who has been there since I started with this and advocating for the park, Miss Irina Castor.
I'm trying to fix this fuzz here.
Oh, thank you.
Yay. A little better.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. My name is Irina Castor. I'm the president of the Anderson Heights Homeowners Association, and I just want to say that I am really happy to be here. Very happy. You know, this park is a beautiful story of persistence, determination, and collaboration between our elected officials and our neighbors. This park has been in the making for about 10 years. And in those years, we have had many challenges in the forms of lack of funding, to design changes, and to the careful but important work to preserve ancient Native American artifacts. But through it all, the residents in this community took the time to attend meetings, to make phone calls, to send letters, and when Councilor Peña worked to put the bond funding availability on the ballot, the residents of this community took the initiative to knock on doors and get other neighbors to vote. And here we are, right? And we couldn't have done it without such an important ally. Councilor Peña and her team. You have worked so hard for us and have been with us nearly every step of the way. Thank you. Yes, she has. Having this park, as Mayor Tim Keller said, means a great deal to this community. Not only is it something that we have worked very hard for, but we now have a communal place to gather, to meet other neighbors, to share with our children, to get outside and breathe the fresh air and enjoy the outdoors. And as president of this community, I can say on behalf of Anderson Heights, thank you. Thank you to the City of Albuquerque workers at every level for helping to make this community, this park, beautiful. And thank you to Mayor Tim Keller for being here today to celebrate such an important day for our community. We are very grateful.
Oh, good. Okay, so now our director of our Parks Department, and who's just been doing an outstanding job in so many ways, which includes open space, by the way, Director Dave Simon.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for all of you coming out today. Thank you to our Council President, Peña, and all of our neighbors and supporters for their hard work to get us to this day. You know, I just want to be very brief and direct and just say a few things, starting with the fact that great cities have great parks. And we are a great city, and we have a great park system. This new park will just be adding another jewel in the crown of Albuquerque's fantastic parks and open space system. Under Mayor Keller's leadership, this administration is let's see. Let's do that. There we go. Under the mayor's leadership, we're making great strides to make parks more accessible to all Albuquerqueans. So we are already a community that has a very high accessibility rate. Over just about a year ago, when the mayor assumed his leadership of the city, we had about 80% of all Albuquerque residents within a 10-minute walk of a park. Today, a little over a year later, that number is closer to 84%. So we are really making great strides to make every citizen have easy access to parks and open space. And, you know, I think it's already a winner. This park's already a winner. I'd like to, again, commend our staff for all their hard work, the ones who've been recognized, David Flores and his staff, but every other City Parks employee has played a role in this. Thank you all very much. We're fortunate to have a great team who cares about these places like their own backyards or like their own neighborhoods. We really do care about every square inch of parkland in the city. So I think this is already a winner. I did speak with my reigning expert on park quality here this morning, Christopher. Where'd he go? He left. But before he left, he told me it's his favorite park. And I think it's already Gypsy's favorite park. And I'd like to thank Hilda for making sure that Gypsy is on a leash while she's at the park. And by way of that, I do want to also emphasize that it really is the teamwork and engagement of our neighborhoods and citizens that help make parks and that will keep parks fantastic places for our families and children to recreate and recreate themselves. So going forward, this is a place where we want to continue and deepen our partnership and collaboration with the Anderson Heights neighborhood, who will be our eyes and ears at this park to help take care of it, to look after it, to work with us for generations to come, to keep Anderson Heights a wonderful park and take our park system to new heights at the same time. Lastly, I just want to point out a couple more features of this park. In this beautifully landscape park, which you notice is not flat, I think the topography is gentle and helps provide us these great views, and that's a great feature of this park. And in the park, we have planted over 100 trees in this small space. And Mayor, that's about 1% of our annual goal. Nice. Under the Mayor's Urban Forestry Initiative to plant 10,000 trees a year for the next 10 years. So in this one park, we've already completed 1% of the work. And I think we all know that when we plant a tree, we're making an investment in the future. And we have made a very big investment in the future of our city and this community. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you at this park as often as we can.
Awesome. Great job. Yeah, I feel like you were made for this job, I just have to say. This is like,
look,
so, I mean, this is awesome. Well, with that, we're going to actually wrap things up. If you have questions, just talk to us individually. And other than that, I just want to thank everyone and echo the comments that were shared. And we look forward to being back out here as well. Thank you so much.